Greetings, Taekwondo family! Welcome to Miami Minutes, the show that slices through your boredom every damn week. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
I can't believe you're joking about it already, John. Jesus Christ.
I got no chill.
But I'm here, happy. I'm hoping none of the rest of you are wearing mascara today, because I wasn't expecting it. I genuinely wasn't expecting this when I opened up the file. It was just like, okay, let's see what happens next week. Oh, shit! Like, it was just like, holy moly. I thought we had a couple of weeks before we got to this.
Yeah, I genuinely thought there might be 5 minutes of film. Or 10 minutes even. But no.
Last week, I think we were saying, like, oh, no, we still got, like, stuff to go. And it's, there's still another, like, 20 minutes or something left. And now it feels like, oh, this is almost like, the film's pretty much over now.
Don't say that. We're in the best part of the movie now. It's the action. It's what everyone's been waiting for.
I say that now. We have this big event will happen now, and then there'll be 15 weeks of just, like, relentless, just no dialogue, and boys just fighting over and over and over. And it's like, oh boy, remember way back when that minute where Jim died and we had other stuff to talk about?
Oh, don't say it. Well, you've alluded to it. Screw it.
Well, does he technically die in this minute, or does he die in the next minute? I guess we'll find out.
Or does he not die?
You're trying to turn this into like the end of a Christmas Carol here.
We'll wait and see.
And Tiny Jim, who did not die. Oh, ain't that swell?
I've got that energy, haven't I? In day-to-day life, not just right now. That's my general vibe.
There you go. Let's be bound to have done that at some point in the last like 2 years, but like the Muppets Miami Connection, where there's a Gonzo and Rizzo like narrating the events of Miami Connection as they go.
Holy shit, that would be gold.
Yeah. Oh. And I think we must have talked about it, though, because I think we did concur that, because there was always that meme that's going around of, like, if you had, the remake a film with Muppets, but you can have one human actor.
Yes. Who
would you put in? And it was just like, well, no, YK can't has to be the human actor.
Just with, like, Kermit and everyone, yeah.
Yeah. Just 100%. And then, like, I don't know, be Sam Eagle as Jeff, maybe. Or
yeah.
Elmo as Jim, obviously. Because
that's 1,000%. Who would be John? John's got a bird-like quality to him.
He does. Either you could just go all out Big Bird, but then you're getting more. We're traipsing more into Sesame Street territory rather than the actual.
Aren't they technically Muppets?
I think they're all interconnected because Kermit's on Sesame Street and stuff as well, and Big Bird pops up in the Muppet movie and things. But
there you go. Yeah, they count then. He can be Big Bird. That can be the one crossover. There you are.
I feel like because John would be Kermit, and then Jane be Miss Piggy would be the.
Oh, that's mean to Jane there. Well, I say that. I mean, I love Miss Piggy, but I mean, she is also a bit of a fucking nightmare. Jane's not really. She's chill.
I don't remember of any of Jane's dialogue to do it in a Miss Piggy kind of voice.
That's our Patreon project. We're going to redub the entire movie doing impressions of Muppets.
Yeah, but we just do like a table read of the script just with the signed Muppet voices.
We will get hold of the cast of the most recent Muppets and we'll get them to read it.
Don't hurt him. He's just a friend to moi.
That was really good, Niall. Holy shit.
I've been practicing Miss Piggy for many, many years.
Oh, God.
Just a friend.
Fucking hell. Oh, I like the way we're starting on a high because it's about to go low.
I was going to say, if Elmo was playing Jim, of course the ninja who takes him out would of course have to be played by Larry David. This is instantly dating this episode of the podcast, but
what I do like though is minute 74 of Miami Minutes.
Dude, well, you like it? What the hell? I can't believe you turn your back on our boy like this.
Oh, I like it in the it's emotional, it's dramatic, it's exciting, it's sad, it brings tears to my eyes, and the minute starts with paying for Jeff's death, and it ends with Jim's light beginning to dim.
They will never make that flight, John.
that really starts us off quite well because we are back as the ninja blockade is in full effect. Great way to close a road down.
Like there's other ninjas at the other side of the blockade and like the high vis jackets like waving cars on like no, don't go down this road. Drive on past.
Well, they're upstanding members of the community until Dragon Sound tried to take them on. But we get the end of the dialogue from last week, and we find out that what he says is exactly what I predicted he wouldn't say.
Oh.
Because he says, the full line, what he fully says is, we have to catch a plane. And if you remember last week, I was like, he can't say a plane. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically true, as we discussed. Yes, they're catching a plane. But I think maybe he's stretching the truth a little. Because it sounds more urgent. Like they might let me go if they know I've got a plane to catch.
It's a proper, just like, oh no, you've paid for a flight. Oh, well, my apologies. Yes, of course we wouldn't make you lose out in upwards of $60 or whatever it would have been back then for.
That would have been a lot of money then,
Like potentially they probably would have cost more because we're so in the era of discount airlines that like whenever I book a flight to anywhere, it's usually like 40 quid maybe or something, and then probably back then it was just like, oh no, it's like $200 to get anywhere. Like it's gonna be like, yeah, getting on a plane. You think that's cheap? Like
that's true. I don't know what the US was like, so listeners, let us know. But at least my memory, not from the 80s, obviously. I mean, I was born 86, so I only have brief memories of the 80s. But once you get into the 90s, that was still in England. That was quite expensive to get any plane, really.
Yeah. And we don't know where Jim's dad's coming from, though, because he could be potentially going on a little mini tour of all of the children he has peppered throughout the U.S. So.
Or it turns out he's been living back in Korea the entire time. He never left.
Yeah.
He just went up the road.
Yeah, he just ducked behind a door. It's like, whew, well, good thing that kid didn't look too hard.
Oh, it is fascinating the way. I suppose the movie doesn't have time to do this, considering what happens in this minute and where things go. But it is amazing that it never comes up in any kind of a conversation. Like one of them asking Jim, like, "Do you forgive him?" Because it is explicit that he abandoned the family.
Yeah, totally, yeah. Well, that's a good and the fact that they've been mining so much family drama out of this movie, that's just like, well, there you go. That's another 5-minute scene right there of him grappling about whether he even wants to meet his father and stuff.
And that, I think, would be realistic because obviously he wants to meet him because this is my dad.
Yeah.
This is my actual father. That's incredible. But he still could also have an underlying resentment at the same time. Both things can be true.
Yeah. He could turn out to be the Will Smith dad. Yeah. From Fresh Prince, just there for 2 seconds and then just like shows up with his trucker jacket on. Just Jim, yeah. I got a job down with the whatever. Yeah. But I do love. Well, I actually do just genuinely love this little exchange of dialogue, though. Of like, we gotta catch a plane. Like, you will never make that flight.
First though, he says to the ninja, "Get out of the way."
Again, it does just have the atmosphere of just like, oh god damn, I have to drive through ninja neighborhood. Like, so they're gonna show down and they'll just pelt the car with some stuff, but you just keep on driving. And usually,
they're naughty kids.
Yeah. They're just like, oh my god, let's go through friggin' whatever. And then it's been like, it's like this is an embarrassing story, not for me, but for my dad. Like one time when we were driving down the road at night, and like some kids were like out in front of the car, and just been dickhead kids, and they just like were riding around not letting them get past. And my dad's immediate impulse was to just shout out the window, "This is the police! Get out of the way now! Come on, get out of the way! This is the police!" Just like, and I was just sitting beside him, just my face going red, just like, "Oh God, no! What are you doing? What are you doing?" Like,
no, that's great.
Like, so not for a second would they ever believe that he was the police dude. He's an 80-year-old man, and then me sitting next to him, do I look like a cop?
No, I support it. I'm on his side. There you go. I'm fully committed to your dad's way of life.
I was like, well, I think they kind of idly got out of his way within the next 20 seconds, but I don't think his ruse actually worked.
Hey, he could be off duty. He could be undercover.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I don't like.
Hey,
the fact he didn't have anything to cash that check if they called him on it,
Remember when there was a bunch of movies that had that weird idea that for some reason, if a criminal asks you if you're undercover, you have to say yes if you are.
Yeah, that was a thing. That's right, yeah.
And let me just say, that's never been a thing in real life. Why would that be a thing?
Why would you write that into the rules of just like, okay, so we're lying unless someone asks you if you're lying, and therefore endangering your own life and the entire operation because you'd have to be honest about it.
I know. It's like, well, why would a movie even invent that? What an insane lie.
But it also seems like the kind of thing that people might be like, oh, I guess that could be true.
People believed it for years, a bit like they believed that fucking double jeopardy rule thing. That's not real. Not in the way it's portrayed, anyway.
We should get to the film Double Jeopardy sometime for our Batman at Patreon, because of course stars everyone's favorite Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, it does actually. Oh, that was be a good one. And we could just rip the premise apart.
And of course, our other host who sadly couldn't be here today, stalwart Miami Minuteer, Dave Fallis. I remember during Batman Forever, he kept messaging about Double Jeopardy, the film. Just like, you guys going to talk about that? Like, you know how many other Tommy Lee Jones films there are? No, I'm not going to talk about Double Jeopardy. Why would I waste my time with that? But I guess at the same time, it's just like, well, it is Two-Face. Double Jeopardy. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
Yeah,
he was ahead of the game.
Yeah. But so yeah, loving this little exchange of dialogue. And then get out there. Come on, guys, get out of the way.
Well, that first off, get out of the way. Right. I'm kind of torn, right? Because on one hand, I'm not sure being aggressive is really the move here. Go, get out of the way, you piece of shit. But also, like, that's probably the only tactic he's got left. He's like, look, they're going to fuck us up.
Yeah.
What else have we got? We've got to be a bit intimidating?
Or Mark might be like, don't worry. I've seen this in my time in Northern Ireland. And then Mark just starts shouting, this is the police! Get out of the way!
Oh my God, it would be amazing. Turns out your dad got it from this. He's like, yeah, I saw this back in the day.
I was the one person in the theater for a film called Miami Connection way back.
Just happened to be traveling through Florida at the time. Yeah.
But the fact that because they're all, not only are there many of them, and they're very clearly ninjas. Like there's no, they last week there's no bones about it. They went like, oh, ninjas. But the fact that they've visibly got swords on their backs as well. This is like, this ain't like, oh, maybe one of them's got a knife or a gun. It's like, no, they're all packing like things that are going to mess you, the thing that does mess somebody up in this very minute. So I guess maybe it's John's got he's approaching it with the attitude that you might an unruly dog. Where it's just like, no, if you stand your ground, the dog might come for you. But if you do a proper, like, hey, like it show that you're aggressive. It can calm it down. So maybe they're like, oh, the ninjas see that I'm like, hey, I mean business. They might be like, oh, okay, maybe we can't mess with this guy, even though we are Legion and he's some asshole. You know?
That's what I think. I think maybe that's what he's trying. Is like, if I act like that, they might be a little bit like scared. Like, what? You're this outnumbered and you're talking to us like that.
Might be like,
you've got to be bad.
That might be a thing they also made up for films that is like not true but sounds vaguely believable. Is the idea like if you're getting attacked by a bear, like if you just stand up straight and make a lot of noise and like show that you're not scared, the bear will back off. And it's just maybe that could happen because you see footage in like nature documentaries of like a tiny honey badger against like a black bear.
Oh, those badgers are brutal as well. If they get in a fight, I think the bear's fucked.
Oh yeah, I think that the honey badger is like the most aggressive animal in like the not the jungle, but like the forests or whatever. But yeah, honey badger will mess you up, man. Yeah. But like the fact that it's so small, but it's just like its attitude is probably like, hey, it'll make a bear go like, oh, whoa, I'm not messing with that. But like, I don't know if a human banging a pot and then like, get out of here. It's going to make the bear think twice,
But that's one that I think, if I found out it was true, I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be like, oh, okay, it makes sense, at least. Yeah. I don't know if I'd like to try it without knowing for sure. And even then, I really wouldn't want to have to do it. Because I'm sure the bear could still swipe at you.
Maybe then, like you record the last episode of Miami Minutes while out camping. And then like the last episode is like me and Werner Herzog and him listening to your death on a recorder. It's like, yeah, John went out to check to see if the bear thing actually worked. And then the end of the whole show is just Werner Herzog going to me like, you must destroy this recording. You can never.
Right, now I kind of want us to do a parody of that at the end of this show. Yeah. Now, come on.
And the odd chance that people aren't getting the joke, that's a reference to the end of Grizzly Man, the documentary Werner Herzog made about a guy who went and kept like trying to live with the bears, and everyone kept telling him you shouldn't live with the bears because like, you know, one day they're going to turn on you and kill you. And then at the end of the movie, the bears turn on the guy and kill him.
What? I never saw that coming.
And there's a scene where, like, yeah, Werner Herzog apparently has a last recording of the guy where he's audibly getting killed by the bear, and it's like him sitting with the guy's wife on the headphones listening, and you don't hear any of it.
What? No. Right, if I'm the wife, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear that.
Oh no. The thing is, she doesn't hear it.
Oh, good.
But she's like...
See, it's been that... I can't remember. It's been ages.
But she's been like... she's kind of like, well, I don't know, because the last recording I have of him, I don't know what to expect, but that would be the last the last remnant of him. And then Werner Herzog's like, well, I'll listen to it to see if it'll be, like, palatable. And then it's just him sitting, and you don't hear it either. And then Werner Herzog takes off the headphones and is like... You must destroy this recording and never, ever listen to it, because apparently, I'm guessing, the sound of a guy getting mauled to death by a bear wasn't all that pleasant. But
yeah, I can imagine. Holy shit.
Yeah. But hey, that's one of the many weird bows in Werner Herzog's quiver.
He's a fascinating man.
He is always amazing. He's an amazing human being, Werner Herzog.
He's had quite a life, really. Like a lot going on.
He's still going too. You know, he's like he got another 20 years of crazy crap out of him yet. So.
If anything, he's getting weirder.
Yeah. I don't know. He did, eat a shoe live on stage in the 70s. So like,
I know, but in a weird way, to me, the stuff he's done lately, I find that more odd. I expect him to eat a shoe. That's in character.
But speaking of shoes. We see some guys who are about to boot it right here. And I do appreciate Mark's attitude. Because he seems to think about, like, I don't know if his idea is we're just going to, like, run to the airport now.
I don't think so. I think he knows we've got to...
No, but he says multiple times, come on, Jim. Like, I'm going to get you there. Like, he doesn't say... Like, it doesn't go into, like, attack mode or, like, banzai or, like, trying to get, like, every man for himself or whatever. He's very specifically saying to Jim, like, come on, Jim. Like, if we just run, we can make it. Like,
you are correct. You are. I'm interested now. Because I kind of read it a different way, but I didn't think about the dialogue in particular. Because what I thought... I mean, we'll go into the minutiae of what they do in a second. But, they head off into the woods. So I thought what he's doing is they're going on like it's a tactic. They sort of fan out. They separate a bit, and it sort of narrows down the amount of ninjas they each have to take on at once.
Yeah.
Because we know they can take on... God, I need to reword. No, screw it, I'm going to say. They can take on multiple guys.
Yeah.
There was no other way of saying it.
Well, they do. They do that every night,
They do, exactly. So they can. We know they can. We've seen them do it. But there is a limit. There is a limit. So I think Mark's like, right, if we separate them out into like... I was going to say thirds, but he seems to not want Jim to fight because Jim's dressed nice. So
yeah.
Let's halve them.
Well, I think that's one of the other greatest tragedies of this minute is after all the time we spent getting to that suit... And then to see what becomes of it in a mere split second,
Oh, I've got something I really like about that. But there's actually, there's a couple of things before they sort of jump out that I thought of. I mean, there's the line you said, get it, where is it? You won't make it to the airport. And you'll all pay for Jeff's death, which is a nice rhyme, really. But then they draw the swords, ready to strike Dragon Sound down. And I thought, if you notice, like, one of them begins to draw it and then just sort of like holds it at the edge, like the tip of the scabbard or whatever. I actually don't know the Japanese word for a scabbard. So either it got stuck and they just went with it, or the transition from that into the combat scene didn't happen quickly enough in the edit because he just holds it. And it's like, aren't you meant to be drawing it?
Or maybe he was just thinking, like, I'm just gonna go see we're taking out the swords. You guys gonna be cool. Like he thought it was more of a threat thing, and it's like, oh Christ, no, the fight started. Oh wow.
Maybe genuinely could be something like that, you know. Or he's not looking at his mates who have all actually drawn the swords.
I also just like there's a sense of realization in that, like, because it could, as ridiculous as it is, there is always a slight chance when they're confronted that this might be an unrelated ninja gang.
Yeah, true.
They're just kind of like, okay, like, come on, guys, let us through. And then, as soon as it's like, you're gonna pay for Jeff's death, they all just go like, oh shit, and just like it's instantly jumping out of the car, like, oh, it's all been confirmed. We know exactly what they're here for now. That's almost like it was almost a sense of like kind of helplessness under them, because they're just like, oh yeah, we're actually outnumbered, and we know that these guys are here specifically for us and specifically to kill us, rather than it just being like unrelated. Like, it could be guys going to NinjaCon for all we know.
That's true, because we know they already are aware of a ninja problem in the city.
Well, yeah, so much so that they've written a song about it.
Exactly. So all the troubles they're having lately, in a way, they're unconnected to the ninja issue and their hatred of ninjas. That's a separate thing. But now the two have combined.
Do you think that they're also prepared for, like, when the ninjas come up to them, they're going to be like, you're going to pay for that song? And like, oh no, come on, Jim.
I suppose, yeah. From the ninjas' point of view, not only are they avenging Jeff, not only are they doing the bidding of their master, but they're also getting revenge for that dastardly song about ninjas being bad.
This is like, as long as they haven't heard the song, we're okay. And then, like, I go against this asshole. Like, flinging the sword at them. Like, oh no, they heard it. Let's get out of here.
Against this asshole. Amazing.
It's like, it would be great if there was if they kind of protracted it out, like it was in like Deliverance or something. And they're all like, the ninjas all over kind of start teasing them and stuff. And there's one sitting up in the tree with a banjo. And then instead of like dueling banjos, he just starts playing against the ninja on the banjo, and they realize, like, you just see like a cold bead of sweat going down John's head as he realizes, like, oh no, they know who we are. Come on, Jim. just running out of there.
Hell yeah.
I do think now I want to adopt that as my, like, whenever I need to get up and go and do anything, I'm just going to start shouting, come on, Jim.
Everyone will think you've got like an invisible friend.
Or then I'm just getting old and you just need to make a noise when you stand up.
Oh, yeah. I've started getting there now. I'm like, ugh.
Oh, totally.
And when you sit down.
So when you get up, it has to be, come on, Jim. And when you sit down, I don't know if it would be, Jim.
Oh, no. I'm going to be sad when we get to that.
Oh, man. I almost wanted to go through to time out. Which was the longest gym that we get?
We could maybe count them when we get there, I think.
Yeah, these ninjas, they are gonna snap into the Slim Jim.
Oh, fuck! Why didn't I think of that?
Find out one of the ninjas was Macho Man.
If Macho Man was in this movie, I think it would. I genuinely think it should have won an Oscar.
The rest of them all black.
Oscar-winning Macho Man Randy Savage.
There's one of the ninjas coming over with the big cowboy hat on and the specs. They're like, ooh, you ain't gonna make that flight.
Well, they're already conspicuous, with the fucking motorbikes.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I'm certain there are ninjas on the other side in like high-vis helmets.
Yeah.
And jackets, like waving on the traffic and stuff. And just,
you got to be safe,
So we don't want to inconvenience, and we don't have no quarrel with everyone else. If you're just looking to get to your family for Sunday dinner or whatever. But then anyone else looking to get to the airport has to take that road. It's like, burr, 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 burr.
Oh, come on, kill these guys already. We need to move.
It's like, oh no, they ran out of the car, and then we're stuck behind this damn car. The road's not even big enough for us to get past.
We're going to be here for hours.
So yeah, because not only do you have the car there, then you got all the scattered motorbikes they're probably just left lying at their asses. So, yeah.
Oh, but to get to that sort of point, Mark, he not only goes on the attack, but he goes fucking wild. He straight up leaps from his seat, into a flying face kick.
Yes, it's good. It's like
It's amazing. Also, actually, it just dawned on me, that's 2 drinks there then in one go. I've written down have a drink. It's 2. Because not only does he kick him in the face, but he's jumped over the door.
So does that mean 2 drinks or a double shot?
Oh, well, yeah, you can do it either way. You can, I might be your enabler, everyone, but I'm not going to tell you what to enjoy. If you want to take 2 swigs of a beer, that's cool. If you want a double shot, cool.
If you want to take 2 hits of heroin, but that's the way you've been playing the game the entire time.
If you want to snort 2 sniffs of stupid cocaine, go ahead.
That's you making clear that you're on Dragon Sound's side there, like stupid cocaine.
Well, I might think it's stupid, but yeah, the listeners can do what they want to do. I'm not going to yuck your yum. Enjoy your own vices, everyone. Your Miami vices.
How could you in good conscience sit and do cocaine every week, know it, that has been supplied by evil ninjas and is destroying the streets of, not Miami, Orlando?
Well, that's a good point, actually. I suppose, cocaine's already got a bad enough of a lineage. Considering where it comes from, who produces it, who exports it. And now there's ninjas involved as well?
Yeah.
Fuck.
The ironic thing about the lyrics, steal all your cocaine along with your life, is that the cocaine will steal your life. You gotta throw your lives away, people.
My God.
Unless you were just like Jeff in an earlier scene where he was clearly like, remember that him getting ready to go out clubbing? Let's reminisce about Jeff. When he was with us a mere 4 weeks ago or whatever it was.
It feels like a lifetime.
It does feel like it's been absolutely ages. There was a thing in work today too where they had to. I was trying to install a thing like a macros thing on my computer that's like standard in the company.
Yeah.
And but it was set up by somebody who like worked for the company, and that was prompting me for like a password. And so I was saying to him like, "Oh, do you know what this password is?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's my name, Jeff." And I was like,
"Oh,
is it Jeff with Jeff or is it Jeoff?" And I was on the tip of my tongue because I've been in this job like 4 weeks now. But I have yet to reveal to anyone that I'm a podcaster.
I think that's a year or 2 down the line.
It's one of these things like in the lunchroom and stuff. I'm just quietly eating my bagel. And then I'm like, I'll truck in small talk if I must. And then I'll compliment someone's shoes, that kind of thing. But then I'm not prepared for it to be like, so what did you do with your weekend? Like, well, I talked about a minute of
No, see, I've been in my place since August. They don't know that. I haven't mentioned podcasts. I mentioned a band once to my manager when he asked, "Oh, why are you taking all these days off?" He wasn't like being rude. He just was interested. You got anything going on? I haven't mentioned drag. I haven't mentioned nothing. They know nothing.
Yeah. So in many ways too, it's like I want to be friends with these people. I want to be friendly with these people. Like one of my team managers already talking about like, would you be interested in like a board game night sometime just for like the team we're on and stuff? And I was like, yeah, that'd be fair. I would be like, it's just after work, and then it'll be like until 8 p.m. or something. And I was like,
doesn't matter. Even if they bought me free beers or something, I'd be like, no.
Man, I used to think I was the really antisocial one, but like, Jesus.
No, see, to me, absolutely not. Work's work. I don't give a shit. They're all fine, but I don't care about them. If they left tomorrow, I'll be like, that's shit.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
And I felt that about the place I last was. I was there for 15 years. Couldn't give a flying fuck. I just walked out of there. Great.
That's the thing is that 'cause I've been working by myself for myself for like 10 plus years. So like I'm just have any contact with people. I'm just like, I think it's because it's been so long. It's just reminding me of school now though. When you go into the lunchroom and then people are all chatting amongst themselves and then I'm sat in the corner. It's like, I suppose I should try to make an effort, but I don't really want to. And then just sort of like getting out and they're like, oh no, they all think I'm weird because I just go in and sit quietly and then walk out again.
No, you look cool.
I don't think I look cool.
No, you're like Edward Cullen.
See, I thought I might look cool, and then I went into the bathroom after lunch today and saw there was a giant spot in my nose. I was like, So they probably all saw that then. That's why people were looking at me like, whenever I came in. So.
But you're in that, you don't care. That's why you're cool. You let it show. You sit in the corner on your own being aloof. Being chill, being cool vibes just emanating from your pores.
Well, if talking about Miami Connection a minute at a time is lame, then I guess I'm just a big lame.
Yeah.
So lame that it's cool. No.
Well, it's hip to be square.
Well, that was back in the 80s, John. And then now 80s nostalgia must be dead by now. Like they ground it into they ground it into the ground. So
it never
goddamn
dies. Then again, with the we won't go into the politics of it, but with some people boycotting Stranger Things last season coming up because of something someone said.
Yeah,
maybe that's the death of it. That's the sign. Oh yeah, I said have a drink. Everyone drink.
Oh yeah. I think every time we need to get back on topic now, I'm just going to shout, "Come on, John!"
Yeah, actually, please.
No, that's one point though. Maybe, I don't know if John would, maybe it's a compliment to him, or maybe he would take it thick. But the fact that like Mark twice goes, "Come on, Jim," and it's just like, "John, fend for yourself." Like, I don't care what happens to you.
I think it's an acknowledgement that like John will be fine. He can fight. Jim, I've told him he's good. I've given him a black belt, but he's not good.
Yeah. I think it might be very much like, I genuinely think that part of his plan might be like, he's kind of saying, "Come on, Jim, I'll get you there." Like,
maybe, yeah.
Like, it could be like, because they do see the plane fly past like pretty low later on. It could be that the airport is a mere like 15 minutes away or something. Like, they're almost there.
I would like a film trope here where it's actually John's decision. He's like, "You guys go ahead, I'll hold them off." and John's the one to get slashed.
Oh, I was going to say, like, you just see like a sea of ninjas like all jumping on top of him.
Yeah.
And then Mark looking back and be like, "Oh no." And then later on in the movie, when you think Mark's down and out, all of a sudden John reappears.
Yeah. He's battered and bruised and cut, but he's alive, damn it.
I saw that in something the other day, too, where it was just like, it's such a trope. I know, because I was rewatching Action Jackson, that was it, because of the tragic
well,
death
of course,
Carl.
that was full of tropes. It's Action Jackson.
But just had that thing like, oh no, that guy's dead. Oh no, I'm so sad. Oh, what do you know? There he showed up again.
I just love, like, so many movies. I'll hold them off. You guys go. I mean, they even do it, as much as I love this movie, they even do it in Rogue One.
Oh, they do
the
it.
droid, he locks them in to finish their mission, and he holds off the stormtroopers.
But to be fair to Rogue One, the droid, like, Rogue One, they all die. Like, that's kind of like the beauty of it.
But he helps them achieve the mission, damn it.
But there's that thing, like, as much as, obviously we love Tim Burton, but, like, not a lot of emotional pathos, and, beyond, like, Edward Scissorhands, the end of Batman Returns, quite emotional and stuff. But, like, there's not usually a lot of things where, like, they really get you in the feels in his films. For me, anyway.
Frankenweenie, for me.
But, like, I always remember, as a kid, seeing Jim Brown getting killed, thinking you were seeing Jim Brown getting killed by those Martians. When they're doing that thing, he's distracting the Martians so they can get away. Like, Danny DeVito and friggin' Annette Bening can get away on the plane. And you see, like, a friggin' sea of Martians descending on Jim Brown, and you're just like, oh my god, he's dead. He was, like, a really cool character.
Oh.
But he had to sacrifice. And then at the end of the movie, for no reason, Jim Brown's just alive. And you're kind of like...
Kind of ruined that entire moment right there.
But he doesn't even, like, come in to save the day for people at the end. Like, he already saved the day, I guess. So, what more do you want from him? But, like, it's just so, like, yeah, he also survived, by the way. You're like, oh, I kind of would have rather he died, because I would have been like, I was genuinely kind of like, oh.
Yeah, whereas now you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just like, that was the closest they had to, like, the Independence Day is a big cartoon. But, like, they had the sense in the middle of Independence Day. People don't remember this part but like, the reason that film works to me so well is that it really takes its time, and it takes it dead seriously. And then after the attack, there's, like, about half an hour of people, like, emotionally devastated and trying to get over the fact that they're just, like, the world's been destroyed and stuff. Whereas the second movie is just like, those damn aliens. Like, oh, shucks. There they go. Let's go get them.
I wanted to like the second one. And I genuinely think it's one of the worst movies ever made. And I don't mean that in a funny way. Oh, it's a laugh. It's so bad. No, it's shit.
It's something I would never, ever watch again.
No, no, there's not one redeeming factor in the entire thing. Not one. Not even Goldblum.
Yeah. It's the type of thing, like, usually I've sat through pieces of crap, things I don't like, multiple times. If, like, you're just hanging out in someone's house and then the TV's on and like, hey, there's so-and-so, and you'll sit and complain about it and whatever and point out what you don't like. But if Independence Day 2 came on, I would be like, I will get up and walk out.
Like, I'll smash the TV. Get this shit off my screen. No, it really was that bad. It didn't even feel like a movie. It was just stuff happening.
I'd be sitting there on the sofa, and then it would come on, and then all people would hear would be me going, "Come on, Jim!" and just jumping out of the chair through the window and down into the woods.
Or if I'm there, you have to say, "Come on, John." Yeah.
No, I trusted you could take care of yourself.
Well, yeah.
But you have to fend off maybe as Mark's right hand. That's kind of the thing of like, John, I promoted you. You are like basically my star student. What comes with that territory is when I have to protect someone and I need to do something, you are obligated to like bear the brunt.
Are you willing to lay your life down for my dojo?
Yeah, pretty much. And just been like, well, like, I'm saying to the gym, we got to get out of here. John, this is your time, buddy. You got to step up. You got to take on all these ninjas all by yourself. I did it the other night when it was deck season, those assholes. So, you can do it too.
Outside of the world of the movie, I think it shows a lot of confidence in him, like as a martial artist.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm giving you this moment. It's quite nice that it's not all about YK Kim here.
Yeah.
He's giving him a lot of time to shine with fight scenes and stuff. It does feel, doing it minute by minute, I realize more and more that they are kind of a double act. I didn't really, when you watch it as a normal movie, you don't take that in as much, I don't think.
It might be also, it's all good for YK as well. It's just like, well, if he sucks, then like I'll look great in comparison. And then if people are like, oh, he's really good, I can be like, well, you know who trained him.
Yeah, I taught him everything he knows.
This is like, yep, that's all me, baby. You like that? That's just YK Jr. over there.
Yeah, win-win.
Yeah.
Although, you know what? There's even more drinks to be had. Take a third, because Jim also jumps over the car door.
Oh, yeah.
So hang on, here we go. So he jumps over the car door. Mark grabs him as he does and gets him out of the way of a blade. I quite like that. It feels very some of it feels very unacted, unrehearsed. It feels a bit more chaotic, like a real fight would be. Obviously, some parts of it, swinging blades, it does look a bit safe. But this kind of bit, where they're running and jumping and things, it does feel kind of tense.
No, I think they actually do a pretty good job here. Like, again, from the mention of Jeff, there is now tension in the air. Like, oh, Christ, we got to get out of here. Because, like, these guys they got us. They got us by the Nesmans. And they're going to mess us up. So, I think, jumping off the bridge is a nice little, because that adds in a layer of tension, too, of having to, like, just the way that's shot, though, the dynamic of, like, looking up as they're coming down, and then like the boots hitting the ground, and then running away. It's just always a good shot.
Love that. Really, I think this is my, like, I think a couple of weeks ago I said it was one of my favorite bits of the movie, like from a filmmaking perspective. I think this is as well. This whole bit is fantastic, genuinely, really good.
Yeah. Another thing I think they do pretty. Though I thought there was a slight bit of confusion in some of the editing, in that, like, because you see Mark jump off the bridge first. And then there's a little break. Then you see John come after, right? And then it seems as if Mark jumps off a bridge again. But then he goes into like a... Oh, no, I think it's because you see John jumping off the bridge, and then that cuts to Mark jumping in the lake. But it looks as if it's a continuation of the previous shot.
Like he's jumped from the bridge into the lake.
It's like he jumped off another bridge into the lake. Is that what's happened here? But it's like, no, it was a different guy. But it's just because John's because of the lighting, he's quite silhouetted. So you don't quite see, it doesn't instantly in your mind look like, oh, no, that's John, that's Mark. It kind of looks as if they're even coming from the same angle. So
I thought that was why I liked that editing. But I also understand why it might be confusing in a way. But I quite liked that. Like, it made it very, like, frenetically paced. You know, it's very action-packed and quick, and things are happening. It's a way of showing that without doing the shaky cam Bourne thing. Which when Bourne did it, it was great, but then every single action movie did it, and you're like, I'm sick of this already.
Yeah.
Within like 2 movies, I'm sick of it. Stop.
So you're watching the Transformers movies, and you're just like, they're doing it, and you're like, I thought the whole point of you designing these robots to be cool fighting robots was that you'd be able to understand what the hell was happening.
In those Transformers movies, I could never tell what was happening physically.
No. But I think one of the major problems being that like they altered the design of all the Decepticons to all just be like brown shards of metal.
I get it, because they're like, oh, that looks scary. Yeah, it does, but you can't fucking identify them or what they're doing.
Yeah, when they're transforming and shifting around, you're like, I don't know what I'm looking at. It just looks like a load of CGI morphing into nothing. Like,
exactly, and half of the shots are following the humans. So a lot of the time you're seeing Transformers doing stuff, and it's you're only seeing up to like their thigh.
Yeah.
Because you're at human height.
But yeah. It was although eventually when we get to the Nolan movies on Batman and John, you're gonna be in your element for frenetic editing during fight scenes and not being able to make out what the hell's going on.
I sometimes it works. It depends on what kind of a movie you're making. I think that's the key, is knowing the style you're going for, knowing what you're creating. Does this fit? Not always. You know what you can get away with here? Having another drink.
Oh my God.
Another 2, right? Because I forgot to mention, just before the bridge bit as well, John jumps out of the car, so that's a drink, and he face kicks that guy with one of the greatest kicks in the history of cinema.
It's great. It's good. It's a good job. He's like on his way out, taking out a guy via transport. Like he needs to move, but while I'm here, I'm going to take one of these assholes down on my way as well.
And it looks like, this is why I think this is all really well shot. It looks like he genuinely just kicks that guy's head in. He might have done. He might have accidentally smacked him one and gone, oh, sorry about that.
That's why they're genuinely running away, because that guy's coming after them.
It's so good. Because sometimes in this, it does look like they're pulling the punches a little bit, But this is a wallop.
Oh, no, I think for the most part, all the actual fighting here is pretty good, except for, and again, I guess it's because he's not really a martial artist per se.
Oh, I know.
Some of the stuff with Jim's a bit awkward, but then again, maybe that's the point. Like he's not that skilled, so he gets in one sort of half decent kick, and then and then there's like a big clunk.
And the kick's still a bit awkward, isn't it? Like the kick, but I can let him off because he's in a suit. You're not really meant to fight in a suit.
Oh, maybe that's what we're supposed to get from this. Was like, if he had just been in his normal fatigues, he would have walked away with this. But
it's because he's sold out.
And then Mark, like, that's his attitude too. And then when he meets Jim's dad, he's just like, if you hadn't come back into his life, if he didn't have to buy that suit to impress you, asshole.
Oh my God.
And even then, what if going further back and like, what if you just hadn't left in the first place? You never would have had to have this reunion. If you hadn't left, you never would have met me. I never would have been embroiled in this whole freaking crazy scheme. Just keeps going and going and going.
Oh God. Now, do you think as well? Like, to me, right? It's being treated like it's a video game in a way, and we're playing as Jim. Now, as a big gamer, this makes sense to me. It might not to you because you only play a little bit. But, like, the enemies seem to know instinctively to target Jim. Why? How? Games do that sometimes, and it pisses me off. It's like a player-centric thing. It's like, oh, all the enemies will attack you, not the other guys with you. It's like, well, why? That doesn't make sense.
You think there should be, like, a little bit of, like, telling Jim to hide in a dumpster or something until it's safe?
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird.
He is the Ashley to YK Kim's Leon in Resident Evil 4.
Absolutely. Because not only are they going for him, but Mark seems to acknowledge that. He's trying, I have to protect Jim.
Yeah.
Why specifically Jim? They're coming for you all. Unless it's because Jim's a bit shit.
I still think it's more like he is like, no, I'm gonna get you to meet your father. So come on, Jim.
Yeah.
Like, we can still do this.
You might be right. Because the only other thing I could think of, right, which would this be good or not? I thought, like, maybe the dad being found and arriving for a meeting, maybe that should all actually be revealed to be a lie. It's orchestrated by the ninjas to lure them out.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
they set it up. It's a fake picture. It's a fake letter.
That guy they even have at the end.
Yeah.
That's why he looks like a kid with like powder in his hair.
He's an actor.
And then he shows up and is like, they said they were going to call me with instructions. I guess I got to pretend to be this asshole's dad now.
And he pretended till the end of his days.
It's just like on his deathbed. He's like, Jim. Well, actually, no, Jim would be like an old man dying.
Yeah.
And this guy's still like 10 years younger than him. Just like, son, well, before you die, you should know that I've never been your father. And
that's impossible.
Also, Yoshido's check bounced 50 years ago. So, with interest, I'm going to ask for that money from you, if you don't mind.
Holy shit. But, like, obviously I'm kidding because I love the movie as it is. But wouldn't that be kind of fun? Like an alternate universe? Like, the ninjas have faked the whole thing.
That would be, I think you have to play around with the timeline a bit, though, because this is all very, like, Jim was knew about his dad, like a while back, and then the whole the letter from the military and whatnot.
Yeah, but wouldn't that all be cool if they somehow found out earlier on, like, oh, he's looking for his dad, and Yoshito's like, I have an excellent plan.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh.
Although Yoshito was just like he was just kind of like happy to leave Dragon Sound to Jeff for the longest time.
That's because Jeff's his foot soldier.
Yeah, but his attitude was like, oh, what you want, one ninja bashing super band who like can take out all of Dexy's Midnight Runners in the blink of an eye. They can wait. Like Bushido has like, I've got bigger fish to fry. I don't need to deal with these assholes. And then when Jeff dies, he's like, okay, now I'll do something. But like, maybe if Jeff was doing like, yeah, that would be something like a very like a vindictive bullying tactic of Jeff. Would be like if he found out like from Jane or something, like he overheard Jane talking about like Jim.
Oh, there you go. That's the in. Yeah.
And then like from that, Yoshido picks up his plan to be like, all right, now we're gonna instigate like, or maybe Jim's dad was genuinely coming, or there was some kind of interactions with the military, but then when Yoshido decides to go for revenge and he's known about this, he's like, then he goes, oh. Send him a letter saying his dad's coming to meet him, and there you go. So yeah, it could work. You could retool this to make that work. Sure.
I like it. Alternate universe version.
I've never heard a sword striking a tree, but I have to assume it doesn't sound like a metal pole clanging into a tree. Like,
I wouldn't think so, and also. I mean, I'm not very well versed in swords in reality, but my understanding of them is they're not that strong because they're not supposed to strike shit like trees.
Yeah.
So I think it would probably break anyway.
Unless it's like the Samurai Jack sword, which is just like the most indestructible thing in the history of the universe. Like.
And some of this is my only fault with this minute. Some of the sounds are a bit strange. There's one coming up in a second that really gets me as well.
That's just Mark shouting Jim. Like you can't blame the Foley people for that, John.
No, it's like first Mark and Jim sort of separate a bit. Mark leads a ninja to water. but will he drink?
You can lead a ninja to water, but you can't make him drink.
Turns into the bleeding splish splash show. And
medium setting.
That's Mark fights him off, blah blah blah. But then there's a bit. John, it cuts back to John, and he's trying to do his part, fight the guys off back on dry land. And
Mark, he's having the thing of like, if I can't kill them quickly, I can take them into this dirty water, and maybe they'll all get like staph infections. And
there you go. Yeah.
They'll end up with like a really bad rash, and they'll wish they were dead.
But like John, he's fighting them too, and he disarms a guy of his sword, and there's the weirdest clang I've ever heard in my life. Because not only is the sound bizarre, but it happens about 3 full seconds before John comes into contact with him. So what the fuck is going on? Like, if you've just put it in at the wrong place, just move the audio. I do it in the podcast. It takes 2 seconds.
Although, to be fair, like, I don't think they were working on Audacity back in '86, so maybe it was like, to do that, we'd have to go in with like an actual scalpel. And...
Yeah, but the sound's been added anyway. It's not an actual sound on this. I was going to say on the set, but they've added it in.
I wonder how much, like, because again, some of it does sound so awkward. I wonder if they just kept the natural sounds. It probably would have just been fine. Like,
yeah.
I think there's probably another timeline where that is what happened, and then there's other versions of us going like, "Oh my god, they couldn't even add in sound effects to this. Come on, guys, jeez Louise." But yeah, I suppose now we've dilly-dallied enough, John. We have to get to the meat of the minute.
Do we have to? Well...
Where, of course, Jim looks for. That's the thing, though, because again, I wasn't anticipating it being in this minute.
No.
So I was kind of like, oh yeah, Jim's not the best fighter, but like for a split second there, I was like, oh, he's holding his own. Things are looking okay for him.
He does all right, yeah. And they seem to be sort of making a bit of distance between the groups of ninjas, yeah.
Yeah. And then as soon as he kicks that guy, like what, 0.5 seconds later, you get a blow, and I was like, no, not now. And then now it's like, yeah, Jim is down. And then the weirdest, like, I'm emotionally invested, but also like, I don't know how this slashed. Like, wasn't even really a slash. It feels more like he was tapped by the sword.
Oh, that's all it takes with a real blade, you know.
Yeah, but it like eviscerates him. Like,
I genuinely like that though. That's super realistic to me.
I guess maybe you could say if you look at because it's a bit of an odd edit, but he's going past the ninja. The guy comes out, does a slash, and then it cuts to him from the ninja from a different angle, kind of like he's fixing the sword up, like it was a proper like slashing motion upwards he was doing.
Yeah, if you go like frame by frame, it's like a big sweeping upward. Slightly diagonal swing.
So it's like, yeah, you could be like, this could be like, again, YK Kim knows his business. So for this in particular, you'd be like, no, that would do some damage like that.
Oh yeah, you can. This is going to sound grim. You can literally rip like someone's guts out like that. I mean, famously, of course, a lot of samurai and ninjas and stuff would do that, wouldn't they? Cut their own guts out.
That'd be like Jim's final little bit of revenge, though. It'd be like in Rikio. He's like, Jim just tears out his own intestines and then strangles a ninja with it. It's like, I'm taking you with me.
To be honest.
To be fair, though, that ninja just outright disappears. Like,
well, half of them do, if you notice. They're not there anymore.
Yeah, but everyone's busy mourning Jim. They're all very polite and like, yeah, better. But I'm sure maybe in the next minute we'll deal directly with the death blow ninja. But like, yeah, he does that, and then he's just out of there. Like, Mark's over with Jim, and it's just like, wasn't there a ninja there?
Well, he's a ninja. He's crept back into the shadows now.
Well, that might be. But why would he? Why would he? Unless he's just like, yep, he's got his banjo back out, and he's gonna sit atop Jim's deathbed playing against the ninja as a kind of cruel taunt.
I'll tell you why he would do it. Because it's a video game and they only attack the player character. There you go. Jesus, though. Right, when he slashes him from out of nowhere, bam. Jim's scream. Genuinely, right? I find it realistic and scary.
No.
If I heard someone screaming like that, I'd be like, holy fuck, what's happened? Because in real life, screaming, it's not nice and pretty. Oh, you know.
If I heard anyone like just even talking like Jim, I'd be like, what the hell's happened?
Well, he's a Muppet, so... Yeah.
Well, he is Elmo, of course.
Yeah, we are watching the death of a Muppet.
And so, Jim is down!
Did you see that Elmo thing recently, where... Just on the official Elmo Twitter, he did a post like saying, "Hi everyone, you know, like how are you all doing?"
Yeah, I did.
And it ended up being like the most thread filled with like existential dread about the universe.
There's that, and then a lot of other people just been like, "Go fuck yourself, Elmo." I was like, Jesus Christ, Elmo's not having a good month. I guess.
Oh, poor Elmo. Everyone loves Elmo. God damn it. But no, this scream. I was like, holy shit, I was terrified. I was like, it's serious. He's not just like, it's not a flesh wound.
No, yeah, totally. Oh, no, but like, the amount of damage done, too, because it's like, it's the fact that it's taken off, like, most of his shirt.
Yeah.
And also half his tie.
That's my favorite detail. Genuinely, again, in a filmmaking thing, because you would think, oh, this is a cheap movie. They're not going to worry about things like that. They're like, oh, no, that tie has to be sliced too. Get that right.
Yeah, totally, yeah. I have to say, I only found out recently, because of Jim's, his throaty scream did remind me. But of course, do you remember the famous clip of, like, the longest and most ridiculous death in a movie ever? Is from a thing called...
that's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, the thing called The Karate Girl. And, like, everyone's seen the clip. It's like a kind of... It's like a Turkish movie, and it's a woman shooting a guy, and him going... Ah! And she, that scream stops, and he kind of falls down in slow motion. And there's all this, like 70s, like... And the whole, like, bongo music going in the background. And then she shoots him again, and the same exact scream starts of... Ah! And it does it, like, 5 times.
It's literally the same scream. Just play it again.
I found out recently that scream's not in the film. Like, someone added that in later.
Oh, is it like a meme?
Yeah, it was like an early YouTube. It must have been one of the first, like, viral YouTube things where it's just like, yeah, someone edited that in because they thought it'd be funny. And everyone bought that was just in the film. Because I believed it for 10 plus years. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess it's just in. Yeah, I've never seen The Karate Girl. I guess
I assume,
it seems like a ridiculous film, so yeah.
It fit.
If you look it up, it's like, no, you get that clip without the scream, because like in the film, it's actually a much more serious kind of moment because the scream makes it so ridiculous.
That's the best bit.
And then, like, if you take it out, it's actually quite like a very atmospheric, sort of only quasi-surreal death sequence that seems very impactful. But then obviously somebody went just like, it'd be funny if I just put in like a thing from Tom and Jerry of him going, ah!
And they were right.
You should put in Jim's scream. What it could have done for Miami Connection had that been the scream.
It could have been the new Wilhelm.
Well,
Let's put it in Star Wars, please. Get Jim's scream in Star Wars.
If not the scream, then just someone shouting, "Come on, Jim!
Come on, Jim!"
Like, even in Star Wars, like Han Solo running down the corridors of the Death Star. Come on, Jim!
Although, you know what? Jim, sliced with a katana. That's a drink, baby! This is the most alcoholic episode in a long while. Come on.
Must be. Like, how many drinks in total is this going to be? I'm guessing you're not even done yet.
I think that might be the last one.
Oh.
Unless we're counting it as family drama.
I get they're on their way to family.
Have another one then.
Yeah. Then of course there is infamous shot, just because of like YK Kim going whole hog, like he's flexing some muscles here.
Yeah.
In many ways, he's flexing his acting muscles by just being like full bore into this like.
Oh yeah, I mean his face. I've never seen a face like that.
Yeah. It looks like something out of like
Come and See.
Yeah. Or like someone seeing a vision of their own death, or someone would see that face coming out of them in the shadows or something. They're like, ah!
It's great. I love it. And this is an iconic pose.
Oh yeah, that's because he's flexing acting muscles, he's flexing facial muscles, but also while he's there,
he slipped in a little.
Yeah, he's like, just you don't need a ticket for this gun show. I'm giving it away for free. It's like, well, just like, look at that crude matter back there.
Yeah, we're all enjoying it.
Yeah. But no, it's an amazing shot because it's one. Actually, quite a well composed shot, and he's he's a fit guy, and he is showing off the talent there, but also is completely ridiculous because it's so over the top as well.
Oh, but I love it so much because like I can justify in my mind the flex, right? because he's mid-fight. This has just happened to Jim, and he almost freezes mid-motion. He freezes in both fear and anger in the moment, and disbelief. So he's frozen like mid-move, like,
No.
maybe he was about to deliver a punch, but no. Everything stops for this second. Everything.
I think also, though, the facial expression has been permanently ruined for us in particular, because that, of course, was the image used to censor the boobs in that one thumbnail.
I think
for that episode
that's my finest moment in life. I think that's my great. I don't care about getting a degree. I don't care about buying a house. The best thing I've ever done is putting that face over those boobs, with your help actually, because I couldn't cut it out.
It was a collaboration. You said I've got an idea, and I was like, oh, I can do that.
I'd farted around for about 10 minutes trying to cut the face out, and I was like, this is taking me ages. This looks like shit. And I was like, hang on a minute, Niall does the fucking Batminute artwork.
Yeah.
He'll know how to cut the face out.
Yeah,
it'll save me about 2 hours.
Took like 2 minutes to do, but
exactly. And I'm sure I can do it with the software I've got, but I'd have to figure that out. That's the problem.
Yeah, but yeah, forever, every time I ever see this image now, though, I'm gonna also be thinking of that biker chick.
And any time you see breasts, you think of this face. I've ruined your sex life with this idea.
Ruined, you say?
Well, improved.
It just means like every orgasm now I'm just going,
I suppose this is also, it's a sad moment. Of course it is. But let's remove ourselves from what's happening. It could be his O face.
The time has come to laugh again.
It has. This could be his O face.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
You think I'm quietly concurring. Like, do you think maybe in the moment he's so pent up and he's just like, oh no, this is the worst possible time for this to happen right now.
We've all been there,
Thankfully, I'm already in the water, so if anyone asks, I'm just like, oh no, that was nothing. What are you talking about?
Maybe he's got a water fetish. That's what's triggered it. I don't know.
That's why he's like, I've always wanted to fight in the water.
It really will be the bleeding splish splash show, let me tell you.
Maybe it's like he just wanted Jim to be there for it as well. Like, come on, Jim.
We'll come together.
I've seen you've been teasing me walking around with shirtless with that towel draped over your shoulder for long enough. Let's go, baby.
He should start a whole extra thing where he should have saved Jim and they go off on their own adventure. It becomes Lord of the Rings, basically.
I'm just thinking, too, like, it's so ironic that the one time Jim didn't have his towel over his shoulder.
Yeah.
It's the time they had to jump into the water.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
This is what Alanis Morris said. That's one of the lines she cut, like, it's like getting killed in the water.
When you haven't got a towel.
Like, Alanis, this is a very specific scenario you're painting here.
Fine, I'll cut it. It's my favourite line. It's the only one that's ironic. I'm not going down that fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Because I will defend the lines. I'll defend...
Okay, you said you weren't going to do it, John. Don't go down the road. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah. If you want to argue it with me, come on to the socials. We'll do it there. Or meet me down the pub.
Just down at any pub you go to, John.
I'm in every pub.
It's just some sort of bizarre sort of metaphysical trance you put yourself into where you can just attend all pubs at all times.
Well, I'm every woman. I'm every pub patron. There you go.
I'm every punter.
Yeah.
It's all in me.
Woo.
I'm getting through Alanis Morissette and Chaka Khan / Whitney Houston, depending on your preference there.
Well, we've got to try and bring the mood up, after considering what we're witnessing. It is very dark.
I mean, it's going to be rough. Like, again, though, because now I don't know what's coming thick and heavy with these minutes. I don't know. Friggin' next minute, the fight with Yoshido might have been and gone or whatever. But like, it feels like we're going to be here mourning Jim for a while. So we might as well try to maintain a high mood because it's going to be sad for a while.
God, I'm on a downer again. Well, you know what? No, let's stick with the downer mood. Let's stick with it because then, Mark, the ninjas vanish, as we said, but Mark rushes over. He holds what he believes, of course, to be his dying friend. And he just keeps screaming, like you said, Jim! Yeah. Jim! And I actually, again, I'm soppy now, apparently. I found this very moving and, again, realistic.
Yeah.
Because what's he going to, in his mind, like, what am I going to do? Rush this guy to the hospital? He's been sliced by a fucking sword.
Yeah. No, I feel because also we mentioned it cutting through the shirt and the tie. There's a lot of blood. It's like it's a proper gash he's got.
Oh, and
going
it's quite. I'm gonna have to use the same word again. I'm sorry. It's like the fourth time. It looks realistic.
Yeah.
It's a good color.
It doesn't look like the guy in the friggin' first scene. No. Getting taken out by the ninja star, where you're like, get out of here. Like, this actually looks like, oh Christ, Jim's been slashed up the chest with a friggin' katana or whatever.
Pretty good, especially because you don't see the wound. Because that would probably be like, that's venturing into maybe being expensive prosthetic. So the fact that
you're going to say like exploitive, like they're exploiting poor Jim's death. Like,
don't show me his wound. That's on his OnlyFans.
Don't show me his gash. I don't need to say.
No, but like, okay, maybe the movie can't go to those lengths. So like, we still need to make it really graphic without being graphic. Like, so oh shit.
Yeah. I think it also it benefits the fact that YK Kim has been so kind of overacting the whole time because he was so affectionate to Jim beforehand, to the point where it was just like, I'm just so happy for you, Jim, all the time. So then it just translates now that when this does happen, him going over and shrieking like, Jim. It's like, you're there with him emotionally. It's like, oh, he really loved this guy. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
They really loved each other. This was like, it's really, I would say even too, like the facial expressions of John as well. When he hears Mark scream, he has a kind of facial expression of like, oh Christ, something's happened.
He knows it's serious now. It's not just like, oh, there's been a minor mishap. Yeah.
It's not just another one of our many ninja fights.
Yeah.
Where Mark effortlessly takes out all these guys. The fact that he's shouting at all is a bad sign, and the fact that he's shouting Jim is just like, oh Christ.
I think he knows. I think he knows what's happened, because that's why he rushes. He's like, I've got to be there for my pal. He comes running over. He takes out the couple of ninjas who didn't vanish.
Yeah. Also, got me wondering next. There's a little bit of a crop top action looking on John there. I wonder if he got slashed himself. It's like they took out the bottom of my shirt.
He did that back at the house. I really want to show off the goods to his dad.
Yeah. He's trying to do a preemptive Britney Spears. Like,
why not? Why not? Britney stole from this. Hack.
Not hack in the way that Jim's been hacked, of course. Oh!
Hack and slash. Oh.
Yeah. Too soon.
How dare we're watching this man die, and you're joking.
Oh, come on! The time has come to laugh again, John. He's not even in the ground. He's not even dead yet. But
I don't think I'll ever get over this moment unless we find out that he's not dead.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's dead. I mean, come on.
Let's wait.
What are they going to do? Suddenly re-edit the end of the film so he's alive? I mean, come on. That'd be ridiculous.
They wouldn't do that. How dare you accuse them of such a thing?
But, actually really emphasizing, too. Like, the whole episode we have been talking about him as if he is about to die when, in fact, of course, the end of the film is Jim. is perfectly
even
okay.
if you ignore the fact that we all know the original plan was he dies here. In the world of the movie, and also the world of minute-by-minute podcasting, we have just witnessed a man get sliced. He's going to die.
Yeah.
Mark thinks he's going to die. John thinks he's going to die. We, the viewer, think he's going to die.
Although then you could be extra callous in the... you might recall, John, way back in our first season of Bat Minute, when we spent so much time with the character of Alexander Knox, played by Robert Wool. And then, like, one of the last times you see him is Vicky Vale kind of quasi-running him over with a car, speeding down the street, then him flinging off into a pile of garbage cans.
It's almost like, get this trash out of my movie.
Yeah, and he's lying there. Is he dead? Is he unconscious? And Vicky kind of gets out and is just like, Huh? Just kind of goes about her business. It's like, that guy was your friend. What the hell? You might have killed him.
And he was a bit of a jerk, but he was a lovable jerk. He was our jerk.
Yeah, and then that also because Knox shows up at the very end with like a little plaster on his head to be like, no, he was fine the whole time. But it also does kind of cross. I feel like, oh, he was supposed to die in that scene, yeah, for sure. But although of course people listen to that season, you'll know that there was a deleted sequence of Knox later on been discovered unconscious with the Batman's cowl draped over him. Batman trying to, in a joking way, trying to frame Knox for being him.
Yeah.
And then no one took it seriously because they were just like, of course it's not him. Look at this asshole. Well, he's not Batman. Get out of here. He looks like, I don't know, like the guy who played Mr. Mom or someone. Like, Batman's cool. He's not Mr. Mom.
That's why it works so well. You would never suspect.
But we are at the end of the minute with John making his way via another sort of transitory kick. And so it's like, well, the guy's on the move. So like, yeah, I'll get myself a little leg up and kick this guy again on the way past. But
why not, eh? Get one in. Get one in for Jim.
Yeah. For the few ninjas that haven't disappeared. For a second there, I was like, oh, they all gone? Like, no, these two assholes are around anyway, at least. So.
Yeah, but all the others are gone. Because now, really, is the time, we could just, like, behead Mark.
Yeah, totally.
Just get the sword to the back of his neck right now, you know?
Oh, totally. Unless they realize, like, oh, no, we left the motorbikes lying in the red zone or something. Go up and move them.
They're about to get a ticket. Like, oh, how much did you put on the meter? Oh, God.
We do know that everyone seems to fear the police in this thing. Because you remember, like, every other time the cops have shown up, everyone, including Dragon Sand, have been like, run away! Let's get the hell out! Come on, Jim! Let's go!
Oh, Jim. I'm looking at his face now. Again, I think this is one of his genuine good acting moments as well. I know he's dying, but...
I will say it's a good, again, stuff we'll have to deal with again next week, I suppose, but he was a good choice in that, like, imagine had this been, like, Jack. Yeah. You've seen Jack getting taken out. You've been like, I guess YK's selling it, he's putting in the effort. But
and you'd be sad. You'd be like, oh, no, he's dead. But you love Jim. Yeah.
The fact that they, like, chose Jim because they thought he was the best actor. So he'll be the one to deliver the big monologue earlier. But he is also genuinely the most lovable of them because he's just such a happy... He is like an Elmo guy.
Like 1,000%. His voice helps as well.
Yeah. Got a cutesy voice. He's always smiling. He's always happy. Except for when he was just really like emotionally vulnerable about his dad coming, and that just made you feel for him more. So it is devastating that this had happened. He was well cast.
Yeah.
For just like, well, we need a character that people will care about. Like, we need to have at least one person in this that people will care about.
Well, considering that none of them were actors, they put them all in the right places.
Yeah.
None of them would have worked in any other part. I think they were all... Considering this is the team, you've slotted them all into the right positions.
It's also, like, you say that though, and then there still is like, why was Jack? Why did they do that to Joe Jack Diamond? Like, he was already doing 20 jobs on the movie, and then they're like, you want to be in it too? Sure.
Well, I think just because he is so close to Grandmaster Kim, it's like, look, it wouldn't be the same without you.
But the thing is, though, he doesn't do any fighting. No. He just has the one stupid, worldwide tour scene, which you could cut that easily,
Yeah, because it doesn't lead to anything.
No. So it's just like, it really was just like that guy.
I think it is genuinely everyone like, I just want to help you out, dude. You're one of my closest friends.
Yeah. He's like, we're all making a movie. Everyone's on camera. You want to be on camera too? Like, not really. Not too bad. Because you are now.
Tough. Yeah, I've written you some scenes.
But
actually, you talking about, the acting and things, the commentary track. There's not much in it in this particular minute because they spend half of it talking about John going berserk. And that hasn't even happened yet. That's about to come. It's like, why are you jumping ahead? And they're talking about how it was wonderful because he's such a great martial artist. That's not this minute. They're not thinking minute to minute. But the interviewer does call this, I feel a bit bad for Jim here, but he calls this Master Kim's Oscar moment.
Oh! I suppose though, like
It is great acting. I know it's over the top, but it fits his character to be like that.
oh, totally. This guy, this is the family he never had. You know,
Yeah,
he
exactly.
is effectively the father, and this is one of his kids. You know, it's like, or not his kid, his brother, like that kind of thing.
Well,
So
we've never quite landed on what's appropriate there, because he kind of is a father figure, but also is kind of a big brother.
I'd say overall he's more of a big brother because he, like, even though he is visibly much older, the fact that he's out like hanging out with them like they're a bunch of scamps, you know, it doesn't. We never see him be authoritative like a father. It's more
That's
that
true.
he has to kind of like rule the roost with a kind of brotherly love rather than a.
That's it. I think you've landed on that's now the official position of this podcast. I think you're right. If he was portrayed more as a father, he might sometimes have to be strict. Maybe he tells them, "Look, you've got to study now." That
It's
kind
like,
of
come on, Jim, go cut me a Twitch.
yeah. Holy shit! Yes. Please give me that deleted scene.
And also, it would be a bit ridiculous to see him like actually like admonishing a group of like 25-year-old men.
They're at university now. What are you talking about?
That's when you get to university. That was the thing you really discover is like, yeah, they just treat you like an adult. So even with your own lectures and stuff, you want to get up and just walk out, you can. Like, you want to sit there looking like a hungover wreck, no one's gonna say anything because they're just like, well, you're an adult. You know,
Yeah,
as long as the
I
lecturer
like
is just
that.
like, I'm getting paid. Like I'm here. I'm doing my job. But there's not like if you did that like literally a year before in secondary school, you would get the ass ripped out of you for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You'd be in a
But
lot
this-
of trouble.
Within the space of what, like 5 months of a transition.
You're just
There
now
you
an
go.
adult.
Yeah, you're just now 100% like, yeah, you can do whatever you want.
So, should we break the connection?
Yeah.
We
I
should.
mean, we shall slash it in two, I guess.
Oh, we're going to slice that to pieces. As usual, speak to us on the socials. Facebook, the Miami Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage. X, at Miami Minutes. Instagram, Miami Minutes. What else? I don't know. Patreon, TeePublic. Look us up there. Sleepy Charlie Media. And join us again. In 1 week, we'll have minute 75. Jesus Christ. Of Miami Minutes. Jim!
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 Come on, Jim!
Listen to me.